Hi, this is Will Moriarty. I'm doing my project on how the art of pitching can tell us a little bit about the essence of humanity. The first part I want to talk about is the struggle between good and evil. As a pitcher, your job is to get batters out, and the batter is always, I guess, the evil, if you want to call that, and your team is always the good. Although the other team might not be bad people, you're just trying to beat them, and there's always going to be the struggle between the good and the evil. So, in the film Tree of Life by Terrence Malick, we see the father is representative of evil because he's always talking in a harsh mood. He's not very patient with his kids, not very patient with his wife, and so he comes off as harsh, while the mother represents the good in the world because she's the caretaker, very nice, good with the kids, and the kids kind of represent the middle ground where the controversy between inherently good and inherently evil originates. So, as we read in class, Sun Tzu says that man's nature is inherently evil and how you have to learn how to be good, while as Mencius says the opposite and says that man's nature is naturally good, and he compares that to water, how water chooses to flow downhill, and just like humans are inherently good. So the second thing I wanted to talk about was the ability to multitask. In the game of pitching, multitasking is a very big part of it. When a runner gets on base, the pitcher has to go into the stretch, which looks like this. Okay. So you notice like this, winding up, got a bunch of momentum. And you can see the difference from how I set it right here. As you can see, I don't have that rocking momentum or whatever. This here, in this position right here, I have the ability to pick off first, and this comes in handy when there's a runner on base, so they don't get to steal a base on me. That's one of the big part of the multitasking. And the really good pitchers are really good at multitasking. I like this quote from Edward Wilson in The Fitness of Human Nature that said, "Natural selection was the driving force behind human evolution." And I think that's really applicable to pitching as well, because if a pitcher can't multitask, then his weaknesses are going to be exposed. He's going to get hit. He's going to balk. He's going to lose velocity. He's going to get nervous. And that's part of just being a pitcher in general, is being able to multitask. I'll show you guys again. So I would do this if there was nobody on base, because I don't have the ability to pick out of this, so I'm not multitasking. I'm just worried about the batter. But then when a batter does get on base, I have to do this, which you can kind of see how you could lose velocity and lose sharpness on your breaking ball, because you just you start from a standstill. You don't get any rocky momentum. So, but the good pitchers, they can take advantage of it, and they can actually turn it to their advantage. In my essay, I talk about some of the advantages that some of the good pitchers get out of going from the stretch. Some of it is right here. The better pitchers utilize slide steps to limit the time to home. That's good in the run game and helping out your catchers, throwing out runners. You can vary your holds and looks, which throws off batters' timing. And if you just have good mechanics and you're just an overall strong body, then you don't really lose velocity or sharpness. So I guess that's where it separates the weak from the strong, and it's baseball's natural selection for pitchers, if you will. The last thing I wanted to talk about was the search for perfection. Excuse me. In the game of baseball, I think a lot of people know about a perfect game. A perfect game is when you, as a pitcher, you throw, or in the major leagues, it's mainly in the major leagues, and so there's 9 innings, and you face all 27 batters, and you get all 27 batters out with nobody ever getting on base. That's a perfect game. Some of the most recent ones were from Felix Hernandez, Matt Cain, Roy Halladay, along with a few others. In MLB's history, there have only been 23 perfect games, which is crazy because MLB's been around for a long time. So, but it's more than that. So, in the film Rivers and Tides, you guys have seen how Andy Goldsworthy creates art using nature, but it's weird because it's usually destroyed within a few hours after he completes it. What's the purpose of making art that doesn't last? Well, since nature is perfect, it is the closest he can become to perfect while also applying his creative ideas. I think this is very applicable to pitchers as well, because even if you throw a perfect game, it doesn't mean you're going to be a perfect pitcher, because I have a stat right here. Hernandez, he was the last one to throw a perfect game, but he's also lost 109 games. So if you're a perfect pitcher, which there are no perfect pitchers, but especially a perfect pitcher would not lose 109 games. And I think that's kind of relative. Just perfection is relative in my eyes, because perfection should be measured in goals. So, especially in the game of baseball, if the whole idea is to win. So if you win, then in relativity, you were perfect. And if you lose, then you weren't very perfect. So your goal, striving for perfection, is not a very good idea, because you're just going to get let down a bunch. Just like Goldsworthy fails, Hernandez fails, and everyone fails. Nobody can be perfect, but we can accomplish goals that are realistic. That's a more universal term that everyone knows. Setting goals can set you up for the right path to success, and it can just lead you down the road to what you're trying to accomplish. And in my eyes, that's one of the biggest parts of pitching, and how it can make you a better person. And the essence of humanity is just learning how you're not always gonna get your way. You're not always gonna win, but you just have to give it your all and set goals and try to get those goals. Thank you guys for listening, and I'll just go ahead and finish the video real quick. Let you guys see this. This is changeup. This is a little bit slower than your fastball. Just kind of mess with the batter's timing. That was a fastball. All right. Thanks for watching.